The Wild and Scenic Rivers Act of 1968 represents one of the greatest and most successful movements to protect the environment in American history. Rivers all over the country are beautiful and essential to life, but the very best of these have been protected under the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. This act was created to preserve certain rivers with outstanding natural, cultural, and recreational values in a free-flowing condition for the enjoyment of present and future generations. Idaho is home to 891 miles of wild and scenic rivers. These include the Main Salmon, the Middle Fork of the Salmon, and the Hells Canyon section of the Snake River. In 2009, President Obama signed the Omnibus Public Land Management Act, adding the Jarbidge-Bruneau rivers, along with many others, to the Wild and Scenic River system. The Jarbidge-Bruneau rivers illustrates every characteristic that a wild and scenic river is supposed to embody. For my senior project, I departed on a self-support kayak trip on the Jarbidge and Bruneau rivers. Located in southwestern Idaho, it is certainly one of Idaho's most remote and untraveled areas. After some last-minute planning, Jim Grossman and I packed our kayaks and left for the desert. We met our shuttle driver, Ed Geiger, and his wife, Eileen, in Bruneau. Him and his wife certainly had some interesting things to tell us about the Bruneau area.
This area right here sees the least amount of people in a year of any place in the United States. Short season, you might get, there might be, one year I only took 2 trips. The most in a good year. Of course, there's other people that do this also, but in a good year, about 50 trips.
After chatting with Ed, we left for the put-in. We were able to put on at 7 p.m. Our late departure, however, forced us to only paddle roughly 4 miles and set up camp just before it got dark.
All right, we are putting on for day 2. We're gonna do 30-ish miles today to hopefully the Bruneau.
So we're gonna try to go to hot springs.
Couple of mishaps this morning. I got my sleeping bag wet. I ripped one of Jimmy's dry bags. But hopefully everything should be good. And yeah,
Psych.
Let's go. All right, so this is about 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, and we got this Sedvi Falls, I think it's called, and it is crazy here. I mean, you see this lake, there's some trees dead in the middle of the stream, and then you look up, this whole entire cliff fell. But anyways, the rapid is right there. It gets pretty hairy, but after talking about it and going through it, laying out all the options and all that, I decided that it probably wouldn't be a good call to run it, being that this is my first time paddling with a loaded boat. I haven't even flipped yet in a rapid, and yeah, it is extremely remote here as well, so it feels good to make this call. Anyways, yeah, hopefully there's some more whitewater downstream. We are at Jarbidge Falls. Pretty gnarly. I just beat her the hell out of that intro part. Above where Jimmy is right there, we paddled that. And I almost got stuck, but I made it. I'm definitely not used to having a loaded boat. I'm having a hard time to get adjusted to it, even though it's been like a long time, or at least all today. But yeah. We reached it. The west fork of the Bruneau. And the Jarbidge confluence here. And now we have just the Bruneau. And this is the hot spring. All right. So, not only is this bathtub pretty nasty, but someone just left their footprints in here. Funniest thing ever. Just cooked our tasty bites in the hot springs. All right, we're leaving the hot springs. We had dinner and kind of messed around up here. And yeah, now we're gonna paddle about 6 miles. And then, yeah, head to camp, something like that.
The Bruneau had picked up some serious volume, and we started to gain speed. However, after paddling for another hour or two, we called it a day and made camp.
I think we're gonna try and do the rest of the river today. We're starting a tad bit later. We had some delays, but with no portages today, we're not gonna spend a ton of time. We wasted a lot of, or not wasted, but we spent a lot of time at the hot springs yesterday. Should be easy going. The river's pumping too. Overall, it's been absolutely stunning. Super beautiful, and I'm looking forward to today. Not too hard of rapids, just a lot of class 3, I think. Maybe 5 mile at the end, which is a pretty fun 5 mile class 4 rapid. But yeah, it should be interesting. Looking forward to it. We're surrounded by poison ivy.
Chérie, je m'adresse à toi. Avec toi, chérie, la vie est belle.
When you're thinking about the value of like a wild and scenic river, or any river, or a canyon like this, I mean, it's absolutely priceless. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You can look at the numbers and all of that, but I mean, you can't describe the value of this kind of place. It's absolutely amazing here.